And we're back on Central Valley Talk. I'm Mike Scott, joined by one of the candidates for City Council in District 6, Holly Carter. Happy New Year, Holly.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
Always curious, what makes a successful business person say, I want to run for political office?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I get asked that quite a bit. For me, it's pretty simple. I, like so many other people, like to complain. I do vote, so I feel that it gives me a right to complain.
Absolutely.
And after being in sort of in the, not political world, but dealing a lot of representing business owners that have to navigate through City Hall and feeling that I have some things that I could lend, some skill sets that I could lend that I think would blend rather nicely with the economic development of Fresno, I just got to the point where I felt, well, I either can continue to complain about it or I can step up and serve and be willing to, do what I can to actually change things instead of just complain about it. And I also feel that if we really want to see things change in the political world, we're going to need more people to do what I'm doing, even though it's an inconvenience. It's expensive. It is not only expensive running a campaign, but it's also the opportunity cost of the time taken away from my business. But it's
what is your
labor of
business
love.
for the folks that don't know?
So I have a public affairs firm, and what we do is we represent clients such as Walmart if they wanted to build a new store and they were having problems getting the store approved, or the Grizzlies. Represented them both through their lease negotiations and also like strategic partnership development.
So you grease the skids for them?
Tell the truth. Mm-hmm. Just lay out the facts and let the community decide. I've done some political campaigns in the background, or in the history, but I don't care for that too much, believe it or not. So,
but now you're in the middle of your own campaign.
Now I've stepped up and decided that I want to be part of the solution and hope to blaze the trail and inspire other private industry folks to step up and do the same. I
bet you never thought you'd be running against Elvis.
I never thought I would be running against Elvis. That was a shock. I was waiting. I figured I know there's going to be a few people in, and I applaud anyone who has a desire to to step into public service.
Absolutely.
So.
You're looking forward to that debate?
It should be interesting. I don't know
yeah.
if I need to start practicing my singing or take up an instrument or something. I'm not sure.
For the folks that don't know, Jeremy Elvis Pierce is also running in District 6. Are there any other announced candidates yet? Or
I believe former City Council member Gary Bredefeld. I believe he's announced or said he will announce or something. So far there's I think 3 of us.
So there may be a runoff unless one of you gets the 51%.
Well, the plan is to get the 51%.
The plan is,
50 plus 1.
Okay. So before we went on, we were talking about, I live up in that area, District 6, and the big issue up there for months now has been, we call it the homeless problem, but we need to differentiate between the homeless and vagrants. Homeless people they know where to go for help. They can go to the Poverello House or the Mission and get the help.
Right.
Vagrants are the people that are just out there, often committing crimes, standing on the corner, asking for money, causing problems. Take it away. What's your take on it?
I want to read this to you quickly.
Okay.
This is written by a vagrant. It says, as a rule, a homeless person is there by circumstance, the loss of a job or other means of income, perhaps a mental or physical health issue. Again, not to sound callous, simply to differentiate. We transients are not homeless men. We simply live a life between front doors instead of behind them. So
they choose to be on the street.
They choose to be on the street.
Right.
And that's the way, I differentiate it, that if they made choices to be part of society instead of rebel against society, there's a home, there's a place they belong, but they've rejected that and in many cases take to a life of crime. And for me, once somebody steps over and they're violating the crime, they're now a criminal. So it's beyond, they're a vagrant, and then the second that they break a law, they're now a criminal in my mind. I mean, if I break the law, I get in trouble. Probably in worse trouble than they do because I have more to lose, I guess. But so there's a definite, distinct difference in my mind's eye, anyways, between homeless people who absolutely need help and vagrants.
I'm sure this will come up at you have a meet and greet coming up on the 17th in the district?
The 16th.
16th?
Saturday, yes.
Is it the 16th?
Yes,
Oh, it is the 16th. I'm sorry,
yep.
yes.
And it's from 4:30 to 7:30.
Okay.
And
Whereabouts?
the address it's at Rick Braden and Jody Lorang's house. And Rick
Is that
Braden,
Audubon Drive? Is that
yes,
it? Okay.
yes. Can you see that?
Yeah.
346 West
West
Audubon
Audubon
Drive. Yeah, it's very easy to find. And if you go to our website, I think they're putting it on the website as well. Either our Facebook page, which is Holly 4D6, Holly the number 4D, and then as in David, and 6 the number.
So Holly for District 6 is what that...
The website
Shortest.
is actually spelled out to district. So Holly for District 6.
Okay.
So .com. You can find all that information.
Now, how many
But-
people can they fit there at their house? Is it a good size?
Oh, they have a rather large size house, and they are just lovely people. Rick actually is one that he owns quite a few of the Wendy's and Kentucky Fried Chickens, and so he's very involved in the community and just a great guy. And his wife or fiance, I believe, is just adorable as well. So they're just passionate about their community and got to know me, and they said, "Hey, we want to do a meet and greet," and so we got it planned and looking forward to it.
What do you see as the other big issues in District 6?
Crime. I think it could be argued that crime and vagrancy
Hand
go
in
hand
hand.
in hand, and they do, but we have to also look at crime in general, what's going on, and I put out a press release that, and I'll just talk a little bit about some of the things I highlighted on my platform on crime and dealing with crime. I'll tell you that I myself had a home invasion. I was home with my 2 daughters, and it was 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was raining, and my alarm went off. And I got up thinking that one of my girls had opened the doors or something, and it was like 6 in the morning or something, and I was just so out of it. And I look at my clock, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and there's someone in my house. So fortunately, I was able to scare them out. I have 2 stories, so I yelled downstairs that I had a gun, and I was giving them forewarning to leave before I came down. And so,
That's
thanks
pretty
to
brave of
God,
you to do that.
it was my girls were there,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I mean, the alarm had gone off, so I said, the police are on their way, I have a gun, take whatever you have in your hands and get out before I come down. So they left, but the point is Northeast Fresno, I think this is new. I mean, I've been in the district for 11 years. I've been in Fresno since 1995. But this is new. New to me, and I think new to a lot of the people in our district. And
they don't like it.
It's every day we're hearing helicopters overhead with the bullhorns, and so we've got a problem. And so what to do? And on my website, it goes through a lot of detail of what my platform is of how to solve and how to deal with the crime. But just to give you an example, in District 6 alone, and this was as of October 1st of last year, okay? So from January of last year to October 1st of last year, compared with the entire year before, the incidences of, let's see here, the main ones that I'll point out. Vehicle burglary, 74% increase. And that was only to the 1st of October, so that was still basically a quarter left to go. 74% increase. Now here's the one that people don't know, and keep this in mind, this is just District 6, okay? Northeast Fresno. The incidences of rape in District 6 went up 500%. I mean, that's significant. So there's a lot here that needs to be looked at and a lot here that needs to be done. And it's a complicated issue. Hiring officers is good, and we have allocation to hire, another 150 more to get us up to 760. We were at 600, I believe, last year. The problem is we're not competitive enough, so we're not able to attract and even hire them. So we're out aggressively pursuing police officers, and they're taking jobs in cities where they're getting paid close to the same, but they don't have the risks, and the work-life balance is more, it's just more enticing for them. So we got our hands full, and we've got a lot of work to do, and it can be done, but not by sitting back laissez-faire and saying, well, it'll figure itself out. We've got a great chief of police. He's doing a great job, but we've got to give him the support that he needs.